Now that took a bit of time, but that's going to be awesome in winter. Also, not what I'm here to do this video on. I'll take you down and I'll show you what we're going to get into. G'day, Bizy from the Bizy Ranch here again. And what I'm doing today is I'm using piping and connectors to reroute my tank here under the ground and back into the shed. When I got this house, the piping was just laid across the ground, and I don't want that there because I plan on having chickens here and I don't want them wrecking it or anything else to wreck this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to plumb it under the ground so that I don't really need to worry about it anymore. Now the piping I'm using is this stuff here. You can see it's got the blue line running across the pipe. There's a couple of different pipes that you can get in size wise, but the thing to note in Australia here anyway is that the blue line is metric, say 25 mil, whereas there's rural stuff you can get that is a green line across it, and that is imperial, say 1 inch. Now some people say that they can interconnect, so the inch being 25.4 millimeters, but I don't want to take the risk anyway. If I'm putting it under the ground, I want to make sure that it's going to last a long time and not be an issue. Side note, if you're wondering why I'm so sweaty, it's because I just finished chopping all that wood, and I also just dug this trench here with the mattock. I'll just take you through and show you where the pipe is going to run. So it comes out of the tank here, and I've just got it turned off at the moment. It's going to run down through, and you can see this is the blue line stuff again. It's going to have an elbow down, and it's going to come down to this bit. Once it gets down here, it's going to have another elbow and run along the trench. So I'm not digging the trench too deep, probably 1/2 foot in this case. And it's going to have another elbow here, and I'll dig it in along the line there. And it's just going to sort of pop out at the end. I'm not going to bother putting another elbow here because this area is not going to have chooks. That area will be there. So it's going to come into the shed there and into the pump, which is the pump that also was here when I bought the property. The pump then just pipes up into here. This is for me to connect later. That was attached to the wall, but it was never connected. Anyway, the pipe runs out into the tap here. Right, one thing you'll note about this pipe though is it's just black. There's no lines on it at all. Now that is prior to when the blue and green line pipe came out. They were all just black pipe, and you could never really tell what measurement it was unless you measured it yourself. So the only reason I know that this black pipe was 1 inch was because I measured it, and I also found one of the old connectors. This is a newer one. I don't know if you can focus in on that. Let me just see if I can get it for you. There you go, it says 1 inch on the connector, and you can see it says rural. So the new rural stuff being the green line, and that's imperial. Alright, so I'm going to get in and I'm going to connect to these pipes. First one I'm going to do is up there. Right, you can see here I've just got this pipe, I've just cut it nice clean connection, and I'll just show you how it goes on. You have this part first, slides along the hose, then this is this collar ring. Okay, now it is tapered, make sure you put it on the right way. The smaller side goes on first, and that's what's going to seal against this part. Next, we're going to put this into the pipe. Now it is quite a tight fit, so what I'm going to do is heat it up with the heat gun. beautiful, just like that. Alright, making sure the other side is clean and has no dirt in it, because it will seal here. It just connects in like such. Now lastly, you don't have to use thread tape, but I want to put some on anyway to try and prevent any further possible leaks from happening. So this is thread tape. It's a very thin tape, and the idea is that it's going to seal up any imperfections in the thread, just in case. So you just wrap it around, just like so. Don't need too much. If you put too much on, it's going to be too tight for it to go on. The other thing you want to be careful, especially on smaller applications, is that you don't get it in here where it can actually block the flow of water. So we connect it on, collar comes up, nice and tight. That one is good to go. Alright, I'm going to go finish digging this trench here, and then we'll lay all the pipe in. Geez, this ground's bloody rooted. So I've finished digging the trench over there where the pipe is going to run underneath, but before I can bury it all in, I need to finish putting the connectors for the rest of the pipe into the tank here. So got the 1-inch pipe here with the 1-inch connector converted to a metric 25mm connection here. So this connection is just going to go in like that, but first I'm going to put the thread tape on. Voila. nice and tight. Beautiful. Alright, now I've got my blue line pipe here, and I just need to cut it to the right length. So it's going to be about there. About there. So I'm just going to cut this pipe. You can get actual pipe cutters. I'm just going to use blade. The main thing to remember is that you just try and get a nice straight and clean cut on it. When I say it, I mean the pipe, not your finger. Right, not too bad, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. Now, the connection I showed you earlier is a little bit different to these ones. Alright, so for the connections for these pipe here, so it's going to go in and scroll up onto that. The pipe comes in through there, and it comes, this is a little blue ring with an O-ring on it, through that one, and that's going to connect in like that. So it doesn't, the collar itself is sort of this O-ring part here. Alright, and that's the same for the bottom part that I'm going to do here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Nice and tight, and then I'm going to do the same for the bottom one. Nice and tight. So I've got everything connected up now. It's running along there. I've got the tank turned off. First thing we're going to do is turn it on and make sure it's not leaking anywhere. So turn the tank on. Water's coming through now. I can feel it because the pipes are going cold. And there's no leaks coming out anywhere. We'll just go through and check the rest. Looking good there. These are existing connections, but there's also no leaks there. One thing I will come and fix after this though is I'm going to put some thread tape on these connections here because they were leaking earlier. Right, time to bury it in. Well, it's all done, but we better make sure it works, hey? Not bad at all. After all, who doesn't like to have a bit of a shower off after some hard work? So that's it. We've dug the pipe in, connection's all good, tested, works not too bad at all. I hope you enjoyed coming through and maybe picking up some knowledge as well. There you go, you can see it's all buried under there now, and I'll just neaten it up. Alright, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.